Now, outdated lingo and archaic management systems are one thing, but this picture gets a little darker when we look at this claim of 100% workable mental and spiritual technology. Basically, it's an absurd claim because it is easily proven false by reports from people all around the world of Scientology not able to do what it says it will do. It doesn't matter who is doing it or under what conditions. There is simply no record of 100% uniform workability. Now, I'm not saying that Scientology never works or that it never helped anyone, but if Scientology could actually do everything it claims it could do, there would be tidal waves of people knocking down the church's doors every day. Cure cancer, heal the invalid, restore sight to the blind. All of these are amongst the claims made by Hubbard in his recorded lectures and in his books. I don't have to make up any of these claims because Hubbard already did. But here's the thing. Hubbard actually did realize that it wasn't always going to work on everyone. So he came up with a solution to explain its failures while still claiming 100% workability. What I'm talking about here is the entire justification behind all of the dirty tricks and brutally unfair treatment that Scientology dishes out to those it no longer favors or who dare to speak out against it. Just 2 months after writing the Keeping Scientology Working policy, Hubbard quietly backpedaled and wrote some more policies. Rather than admit that Scientology might not be for everyone, or that some people are just not going to respond to his brand of psychotherapy, instead, he came up with a new concept, a Scientology bad guy who would be the perfect explanation for every failure. He invented the suppressive person. A suppressive person is defined as a person who seeks to suppress or squash any betterment activity or group. A suppressive person suppresses other people in his vicinity. This is the person whose behavior is calculated to be disastrous. Now, here is how Hubbard introduced this idea of a suppressive person to Scientologists and how he used it to explain Scientology's failure to work. He wrote, "The suppressive person can't stand the idea of Scientology. If people become better, the suppressive person would have lost. He or she is also a no-gain case. So avid are such for the smashing of others by covert or overt means that their case is bogged and won't move under routine processing. Since such a person has withholds, he or she can't communicate freely to as is the block on the track that keeps them in some yesterday. Hence, a no-gain case." And just to make sure that he really drove the point home, Hubbard goes on to say, that alone is the way to locate a suppressive person, by viewing the case. Never judge a person by their conduct. That is too difficult. Judge by no case games. Don't even use tests. One asks these questions. 1, will the person permit auditing at all? Or 2, does their history of routine auditing reveal any gains? The policy I'm quoting is titled, Handling the Suppressive Person, the Basis of Insanity, written on April 5th, 1965. And yes, the insinuation in that title is very purposeful. Suppressive people are supposed to be insane. So it's simple. If Dianetics or Scientology aren't working on you, or if you don't want Scientology to be practiced on you, the reason why is because you are a suppressive person and are insane. Hubbard wrote a lot more about suppressive people. He basically described them as evil psychopaths who commit criminal activities on an almost daily basis. When you are connected to someone who is an SP, in Scientology they call you a potential trouble source, meaning you now have a label that you are a potential trouble to the church. Hubbard also came up with 10 other classifications of trouble sources, such as people who have family who don't want them doing Scientology, or a person who approaches Scientology with an open mind and isn't sure if he's going to get better or not. In other words, if you aren't convinced before you start that it's going to work, they don't want you. Now think about all of that for a second. Look at all the ramifications of these policies. Look at what it says about people who try Scientology and reject it, who decide, well, it's just not for me. You see where this goes? It's black and white thinking. You're either with them, or you are a degraded, horrible criminal. Or you're on the side of a degraded, horrible criminal. The Scientology policies don't give any other real choice in the matter. This makes it easy to understand why Scientology executives have little to no compassion or understanding for anyone who would dare question it. This is why no effort is made to change or adjust Scientology procedures if someone is dissatisfied with its results.